Okay, let's go for a little ride in my 2017 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. This is actually the second time I'm driving this. The first time I got 39.5 miles per gallon, driving about 10 miles. And today I'm gonna take a short trip to Aqueduct. And the reason I bought the RAV4 Hybrid is because I like to sit a little higher in the car. I used to drive a minivan, Toyota Sienna, and I like the driving position. So this RAV4 is, of course, sort of like a SUV, four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And it's just a little higher. And of course, it's a hybrid, it saves gas. And I was a little hesitant before about buying a hybrid because it is complicated and things can go wrong and they're expensive to repair. And I consider other brands like Kia and Hyundai and other cars that can actually have better gas mileage. But I went back to Toyota because I never really had any problems with my minivan, and my son's Prius, he had no problems with it at all. He had it about 8 years. So that's why I bought the RAV4 Hybrid. And the first time, like I said, I got 39.5 miles without really any hypermiling, any special driving technique. I actually don't know that much about the pulse and glide way of driving, except you're supposed to be not using the electric mode, not using the engine, and just sort of like have it in neutral and just glide. I'm not sure. I guess you have to look at the screen all the time, the energy screen, to see whether your motor is engaging or your gas engine is engaging or not. So I'm just driving it slow and just driving it the way I was taught how to drive. Really drive as if you have an egg between the bottom of your feet and the gas pedal. Just don't be heavy footed. So that's the way I'm driving it. And of course, don't accelerate to a stop and no quick starts and all that common sense driving that one would do. So, so far, I like the car. It's of course not as quiet and comfortable as the minivan. The seats are not as comfortable. It's smaller. You really have to step on it to get to 60 miles an hour. And if you want to have more power, you can put the car in power mode or sports mode. Then it will feel like a regular car. But if you want to save gas, then drive it in the eco mode, which I'm in. And as I am driving, you will see how fast I am driving. And I basically will be keeping up with traffic, but I won't be driving quickly, so to speak. So the car is relatively quiet. Yeah, now I'm merging into the highway. You can't really drive fast anyway in New York City. The highway speed limit is 50, and anything over 60, you can get a ticket. And on city streets, I think I might have gotten a ticket driving over 25. So I'm hoping I won't, but there's a chance that I'll be getting a ticket because they have the new speed limit of 25 miles an hour. So you're not supposed to be driving fast anyway. So right now I'm on the right lane. I'm just keeping up with the car in front of me. So I think I'm driving a little over 50, maybe just over 50 miles an hour. You can see the cars on the left passing. That's fine. I'm not blocking any traffic, not annoying anyone. The first thing I got the car when I got back home is to check the voltage of the 12-volt battery that is located in the trunk to see if it is maintaining the voltage, because it was sitting in the dealer slot for like maybe 6 months. So I wanted to make sure that the 12-volt battery wasn't discharged. And yeah, it checked out okay. The 12-volt battery is charged by the hybrid battery, and then you have 3 motors, and they all do charging of the hybrid battery, and then you have a inverter converter that converts the high voltage to charge the small battery. So when I'm driving now, I have the heat on, but I did not turn the fan on, and I didn't even have the daytime running lights on, because that would save a little bit of energy and you have more electrical power for your hybrid battery. So those are the only special things I'm doing. You don't really need to have the fan on to get heat, because the air blows from the outside coming in through the heater core, and your car will be heated. Of course, in the winter you might want to turn the fan on, and then you heat up your car quickly. So aside from that, of course, no AC. It's almost winter now. Yeah, outside temperature about 50 or 45 degrees, and smooth traffic. The MPG EPA is 30 highway, 34 city, and 32 combined. So I expect to get way more than that, and I think I will. I got, like I said, pretty good mileage last time I drove. And yeah, I like the car because everything is like a normal car. The Prius was not a normal car. If you want to change a headlight bulb, it's a pain in the neck. Some would have you drop the bumper. And I asked one garage, he wanted $200 to change a headlight bulb. I actually changed it myself, but with this Rav4, every normal maintenance items are fairly easy to handle. The oil filter is easily accessible from the bottom of the car. The drain plug, the headlight bulb, you can change it like a normal car. No, you don't have to take off much of anything. The tail lights, you don't have to change. I mean, you don't have to take off like a whole back panel just to access the tail light bulb. The only, I think, bulb that is a little more difficult to change is the one on the bumper. I think you have to go underneath the car and remove a panel of some kind to access it. But other than that, the normal maintenance is like a regular car, nothing special. So that's a good thing. Yeah, the battery, the 12-volt battery, unlike the Prius, is easy to change. Is in the trunk, but it's not all the way buried inside the trunk. So that's a good thing. Yeah, now I'm almost there at my destination. Yeah, it's a nice ride. There's not much traffic. There are a few bumps. So far, not too many things rattling around in the car. It is a little bit more lively or jiggly than the minivan. The car handles fine. I read reviews or saw reviews that complain about the handling of the car. I don't know what they mean. It definitely handles, I guess it handles like the minivan, which I was happy with. Definitely much superior than the old cars I used to drive, the American cars like the Buick Skylark that I used to have, or the Ford Fairmount. When you make a turn with those cars in the old days, it will lean one way. You turn left, it leans the other way. Nothing like that with this car. It just drives like a normal car. And of course it has all-wheel drive. It is not an off-road vehicle. It's more like an on-road vehicle for all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive is supposed to help you in the snow so you don't slip around and get off the road. So don't expect it to drive like a Jeep. It is not, and it is not, I don't think it's intended to be driven as a trail vehicle. So here I am. It does have a lot of the fancy safety features like the lane departure, automatic braking, emergency braking. The only thing it didn't have is the backup sonar, or not the backup sonar, like if people cross you when you're backing up, there's no sonar to warn you of the cars that is crossing your rear bumper. Okay, so I got 41.9 miles per gallon with normal driving techniques, a little slower of course, and as the car ages I will probably get much less. And on the way back I stopped at a supermarket, and going back to my home it was downhill, and I got 51.7 miles a gallon.